Any me, me, Sakai me, Sapi me, Sepe me, I, Mama, Tima, Etia, Inese, Amasia.
Born in the year 1959 October 14. Okay. Night at the Thursday in the morning. Born in the year 1959 October 14. Okay. Night at the Thursday in the morning.
Thursday in the morning?
Yeah, I applied for a school called St. Francis High School in Maryland.
In Maryland. And who told you about Thursday?
My father was a pastor.
Go ahead with the story. I'm listening.
Why you want to be wise on your father?
No, I'm sorry.
My father was a pastor and carpenter.
Pastor and carpenter.
Yes.
You call your name. Go ahead.
So then, I graduated from St. Francis High School in 1979.
1979.
I was 20 years of age.
You graduated from St. Francis?
In Maryland, I'm a Catholic output.
Okay.
Now, my schoolmate is called James Borty.
James Borty.
The man can talk to you for America.
Yeah, James Borty.
We're talking about Canadians.
A schoolmate
from Canada. I know you were our schoolmate or you 12 I was in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so your schoolmate. All right.
So I graduated from high school in 1979. I want to win a few course of science and technology. I did civil engineering. I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Oh.
About 5 I was in 6th grade. Catholic output.
Okay.
Now, my schoolmate is called James Borty.
James Borty. A schoolmate
from Canada. I know you were our schoolmate or you 12 I was in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so your schoolmate. All right.
So I graduated from high school in 1979. I want to win a few course of science and technology. I did civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Oh.
Civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Civil engineering.
I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Oh.
About 5 I went to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want to car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say, oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para put her money in. Oh. About 5 I went to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want to car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say, oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para put her money in. You know what I mean? I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Oh.
About 5 I went to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want to car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say, oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para put her money in. You know what I mean? I went to Canada. I know you were our schoolmate or you 12 I was in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so your schoolmate. All right.
So I graduated from high school in 1979. I want to win a few course of science and technology. I did civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Oh.
About 5 I went to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want to car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say, oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para put her money in. You know what I mean? The beer, why the beer, my God? One bottle beer of 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents those days.
One bottle beer of 50 cents. Science and technology. I did civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
I went for language. I went to work out with beer.
Oh.
I'm far from you. Why car will be here?
Okay.
I want why the car will be here. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say? Oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para for the money. For engineering. You 12 hours in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're schooling. All right.
So my grandpa has been nice with that. I want to go to be a course of science and technology. I did civil engineering. I want to learn how to work out with beer.
Oh.
I want far from you to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want the car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say? Oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para for the money. And technology. I did civil engineering. I want to learn how to work out with beer.
Oh.
I want far from you to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want the car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say? Oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para for the money. Like you are doing the beer. Why the beer, my car? One about to be on 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents those days.
One about to be on 50 cents. Now, my schoolmate called James Porty.
James Porty.
The man can talk to you for us from America.
Yeah, James
We're talking
Porty.
about Canadians.
Schoolmate.
From Canada, I know you are. I was schoolmate or you 12 hours in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're schoolmate. All right.
So my grandpa has been nice with that. I want to go to the course of science and technology. I did civil engineering. I want to learn how to work out with beer.
Oh.
I want far from you to work out with beer.
Okay.
I want the car with beer. I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say? Oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para for the money. Like you are doing the beer. Why the beer, my car? One about to be on 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents those days.
One about to be on 50 cents.
Oh my God. One bottle of beer was 50 cents. When we used to wash our cars with beer. And according to Pat Jasper, they used to be singing songs, singing beautiful songs as they're watching their 5-4s, their old school vehicles. According to him, he graduated from St. Francis Catholic High School in Plebo, went to the William V. Stuttmore College of Science and Technology. He later on ended up getting a job at Lamco. According to him, at Lamco, they used to, he was fortunate to buy for himself one vehicle. One vehicle. Oh my God, he was fortunate to buy one vehicle. And of course, when he purchased the vehicle, he used to wash the vehicle with beer. One bottle of beer at a time was just 50 cents. Wow. That was when a lot of family people houses, a lot of family people educational, funds, those were the places they went. When Lanco was Blanco, and I want you to listen to Pa Jasper. Oh my God. When Liberia was Liberia, and nobody can say. When Lanco was Lanco, listen to Pa Jasper. You want to listen? You want to listen to the old man? You want to hear the old man tell you more about what they made of their youthful age, growing up in pre-war Liberia. Growing up in pre-war Liberia. Well, Lanco used to be Lanco. Listen to the papi. Listen.
1979.
I was 20 years of age.
I'm guy from St. Francis.
I'm a Catholic output.
Okay.
Now, My schoolmate called James Porty.
James Porty.
You know, get talk to your voice from America.
Yeah, James
We're talking
Porty.
about Canadians.
Schoolmate.
From Canada, I know you were our schoolmate or even 12 years. I was in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so your schoolmate. All right.
So my grandpa asked me, I want to go to be a course of science and technology. I did civil engineering.
Civil engineer.
I went to Lanco. I used to work out with beer.
Oh.
About
Schoolmate.
from Canada, I know you were our schoolmate or even 12 years. I was in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so your schoolmate. All right.
So my grandpa asked me, I want to go to be a course of science and technology. I did civil engineering.
Civil engineer.
I went to Lanco. I used to work out with beer.
Oh.
About 5 people, I used to work out with beer.
Okay.
Why they come here? I can play music. I put music on. You want me to say? Oh, Mr. Walker, I want to see your daughter. Some people say she ugly, but para put up money.
Oh my God. I can stop listening to this thing. We used to watch our car with beer about 5-4. What is 5-4? Can some of the old people call us and tell us what is 5-4? I mean, today we know Nissan, we know Toyota, we know Chevrolet, we know Grand Cherokee, we know Ford, we know BMW, we know Lexus, we know the different brands. What is 5-4? What is vehicle 5-4? Oh my God. Too many things happening in the country. A lot of issues going on in Liberia. A lot of things going on in this country that we will need to talk about. Today was a clear evidence of a lot of people whose intentions can be traced to hate desperation, a lack of sincerity, political hypocrisy, and of course, to the pretense, the case with some of the political women who gather today at the Liberian capital. I can simply say that for a fact, that the bulk of those who gather today had their intentions from a political perspective, and we are not going to mince our words on those issues. Today, we witness some unpleasant display of an attitude that we can compare, that we can trace to political and manipulative calculations. The case with people who are trying to politicize the situation at the home of Councillor Gloria Maya Mususcat, Liberia's former Chief Justice. But again, as the case continues to unfold, there are too many things we are gathering. From the way we see it, and from the things that we continue to see, it is about time that Gloria Mususcat make herself available, make herself responsive. She needs to cooperate with the state security forces so that we can have a clear picture of what transpired. To sit, to remain mute, to choose not to cooperate according to what we are gathering with state security forces and people who are investigating says a lot. To allow people to politicize the situation involving the robbery is equally a situation we also need to investigate. The case with some of those women, and not all of them have gone up Capitol Hill to express their dissatisfaction, to express their empathy, and whatever the case is. But what we know for a fact is that a lot of those whose idea it is to have folks assembling on the grounds of the Liberian capital were duly politically induced. And so we're going to be jumping into the case. We're going to have our own analysis around this discussion. Trust me, we're going to have more about what we believe, what we think Liberians should be doing when these kind of situations will keep unfolding. Too many things happening. Too many things happening. We are grateful that in the last minute, we are told that the state security people, the investigators, were able to meet Madam Gloria Maya Mususcat today. last minute, just today. And so it is now becoming a very, very wonderful case, wonderful, interesting case. And of course, we intend to have a lot to say today. The Honorable Chief Justice, once a Chief Justice is always a Chief Justice. She would need to do everything possible to depoliticize this issue. And of course, that is the only way we can have justice being served. In the midst of the folks doing their job untouched, unhindered, undistracted, it is going to be extremely impossible to reach to a legal conclusion to this matter. That is the size of the conversation for the sake of the first segment. At about 5:15 today, we are going to be playing host to a team of lawyers from the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law there at the state-run University of Liberia, where they're going to be telling us more about an honoring program that is expected to happen in the coming days for the sole purpose of recognizing the great contribution of men and women who serve that department, that identical college there at the University of Liberia. And so the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law will have some of their brightest lawyers to join us right here in studio, as they're going to be telling us some of those men and women, those who were able to make some tremendous contribution toward the development of law and lawyers in the country. We take a few bars of our theme song. When we return, we're going to be having words from our sponsor, Crime Stoppers Liberia, and subsequently, we're going to be running deeply into today's presentation. Christian C-Boy Yanti, Christian Mose Uye Yanti. Today is your birthday, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Mr. Christian Moses Uye Yanti, there from the Bakube Avenue, and respectively of the Intellectual Alliance of Liberia, formerly of the Veterans Bureau of Liberia. Happy birthday, Mr. Christian Moses Uye Yanti. And this entire presentation, today's program is being dedicated to you, my brother. So we take a few parts of this song now. We rumble into the issues making the news in Liberia.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we have seen in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia. We want peace in Monrovia. And of course, we will need the entire earth to be a peaceful place. And that is the only guarantee for prosperity and development on the planet. My name is Kai. I'm here today on the Thursday's edition of the program, the last edition of the week for us. Junkins Morris is going to be here on his regular weekend edition of Freedom on 87.9. Now, the entire former Chief Justice situation has been lingering for some time now, and I have done all of what I could to have an intensive investigation into the matter. As we're having this conversation, that investigation is still ongoing. And my investigation is purely on the basis of evaluating the different accounts from family sources, from state security actors, from my colleagues in the media, and too many different sources. We keep having these conversations. But the first thing we want to highlight is the fact that Liberians should graduate from this mindset of wanting to politicize everything in the country. When people refuse to be about a particular issue, when they choose to take their focus from the actual happenings by wanting to infuse political sentiments in these discussions, then we all by ourselves automatically, then we subject the whole conversation to politics, and in the end, the real essence, sometimes the real conclusion that we anticipate as a people and country will be wiped away because we will all be swallowed up in the sentiments of politics. This is exactly what the theme of today's conversation is going to be about. A few days ago, the former Chief Justice had an attack on her property, leaving one critically injured and another person dead. Isn't that a sad news? Isn't that an unfortunate situation that should befall any family in the country? That is something that nobody, I repeat, even the wickedest person in Liberia, the person who has degree in witchcraft activities, even that person will not feel pleased if such a situation is going to happen to them. That is so terrible. Personally, I'm hurt. We regret the situation that Madam Scott will go through that identical experience. Nobody, whether you are a former Chief Justice, you are a former government official, or whoever, irrespective of your political, social status, nobody should be subjected to such a tragic situation. That is the point. And so when a situation of such is the order of the day in the country, then it requires a lot of us to throw aside our political interest, our political sentiments, and allow the law of reasoning to prevail. The first thing is, this is not an unprecedented situation. This issue of somebody being killed through robbery is not an unprecedented situation. And so it became an issue of concern to some of us when people started to play politics out of it instead of following the investigative proceedings. And we're going to touch every segment of the Liberian society with reference to the whole conversation. When we say unprecedented, it means this thing is not an unprecedented case to say it never happened before. We have had instances of people being killed through armed robberies right here in this country. Should we continue to have these issues happening? I say big no. Can we stop it from happening? I'll also tell you, irrespective of who's in power, irrespective of whoever is in authority in this country, you won't stop armed robbery. You won't stop people being murdered, because to the best of my knowledge, every government on the planet will have a record of murder cases being committed, of robbery being committed. Now, what we can all do is to have a conversation about how we can mitigate these challenging situations when they do happen to us in our country. And that is where I want the Liberian consciousness to be. That is when I want the Liberian people to channel their intellectual might. How the hell somebody is bereaved? How the hell somebody lost someone who is supposed to be their daughter? You know, in Liberia, once the child living with you, that your daughter, you don't have to necessarily be the biological father or mother. Once the child is with you, that child is your daughter. How the hell somebody who is grieving? And you find people, instead of sympathizing and waiting for justice to be done, and they are all in the business of discussing how to do mobilization in their political party chat rooms about a situation involving a citizen of the country who is grieving, who is bereaved. You are exploiting the bereavement of Madam Scott for political reason. This is very silly. Nobody should support such a terrible idea. You don't do that. Because you know why? When this kind of things start to happen, and automatically people start to throw out unsubstantiated claims. This man is the person who killed the person. This lady is the person who killed the person. That other person killed the person. When you do that, you create serious-minded complication for those whose responsibility it is to do proper investigation and bring to legal closure these kind of situations. That's what you do. And so it is not a decent thing to always have people wanting to prejudge. It's not a decent thing. What was the essence of what was displayed today on Capitol Hill? And I keep saying this to people. Our conversation on this platform is always, done in such a way that we will do serious-minded references. The first murder case I remember under this George Weah's administration that was recorded was the one that had to do with the death of the late Tyrone Brown, a Liberian journalist who was working with Super FM by the time. Tyrone Brown, peace to his arches, fellow Liberians, was nowhere close to those who are actively involved with real mainstream politics. There was no record to show that Tyrone Brown had ever gone to work to discuss political issues relative to the Liberian government under George Weah. There was equally no record to show that through the job of Tyrone Brown or his working activities, he was able to discuss anything pertinent to a government official under the Weah's terrain. There was nowhere we could find that record. Again, unfortunately, peace to his arches, Tyrone Brown died in this country. And people, instead of waiting for the investigation, openly went to work and said it was the Liberian government under George Weah in less than 3 months killing journalists. That became a serious concern in the media landscape. Journalists were concerned. Civil society actors were concerned. Why will a journalist be killed in such a way? Body discovered the next morning. Only for us to understand, after a series of investigation and hardcore, national security, investigative network, only for us to know that the killer in Mr. Jonathan Colon Williams was arrested. And in the end, you all know how the story ended. Jonathan Clone Williams was taken to the western part of our country, and the case was adjudicated. He was declared guilty as charged, and he's right here on Center Street in South Beach. He was sent to prison. It ended out that he went and had a fist fight with Tyrone Brown over domestic issue. People say woman business. I don't care about it. I don't know what the situation, but even if that woman business, he's never supposed to have gone to the level of killing Tyrone. No, you don't kill for woman business. You don't do that nonsense. Right? There were other issues. But the point I'm trying to push here is Tyrone was nowhere close to being a threat to the government. But yet we saw people who are supposed to be educated in this country blaming the government for it. In no time, it ended up that Tyrone was killed by Jonathan Clone Williams over domestic issues. The son of the late William V.S. Todman, right here in District 9. We are told in the Fiamma area. In the end, after he was killed, the John Todman or something, in no time, there were individuals arrested. Go do the research. The guys who were arrested, it became clear that they alleged that the Papa wanted to do stuff with them and this. So in an attempt to do self-defense, bloop, they kill him. There are people who were arrested on that particular issue. Right? There were folks who were arrested on a particular issue. Yes, there are other cases that may have occurred that till this moment we don't have closure to. But in everything, from the overall perspective, it is so very wrong that you would just wake up and throw accusations without having substantive facts. It is wrong. Today, a situation at the home of the former Chief Justice is being discussed. Now, for crime to be committed everywhere on the planet, according to a seasoned Liberian, legal justice, officer, a trained Liberian crime fighter, there must be few issues that you should identify. There are key indicators for crime to be committed. The first thing is there should be an intent. You must sit and think. You should have a clear reason why you want to commit this particular crime. It is on the basis of that intent that a decision to commit a crime is often triggered. In this situation, I'm just surprised that a man who is supposed to be educated like Jerome Verdier will openly say things on the radio, and there's not even a piece of evidence. Even if you have 1 million pieces of evidence with you, sometimes, as grave as this matter is, you find out that out of the 1 million, just get out 2 as the public. Tell the public, look, this is what I believe. This is what the situation is, and you can research this, or you can look at this, and it will tell you exactly what I'm saying. At the appropriate time, I'm willing to provide the rest of the evidence. He sat there and accused people. This won't kill the one. This won't kill that one. Now, when these things start to happen, sometimes the real perpetrators are off the hook because the focus of the investigators will now leave other places that was supposed to be targeting, and they will follow the political chicanery. In this situation, you undermine justice. To seek justice in this kind of situation is to allow justice have a time. It's to give the process, give the process a time. Who was Madam Scott? A former Chief Justice. When was the last time she spoke against this government? I don't know. Is she into any dealings with the Liberian government? I don't know. Are there public records to show this madam disagreeing with government policies and other issues in this country? Not to my knowledge. And most of you can attest that Madam Scott has been an individual who was so much engaged with her personal legal activities. To establish a link between Madam Scott and the government is going to be a difficult thing. However, I am in no way suggesting that to outrule an individual from the government, whatever the situation, is my take. No, I'm not suggesting that. It is equally possible that one or two persons from the system could have, a dealing with her and on settled score, which is also possible on this kind of investigative period. But to outrightly organize a protest, as it was done today on Capitol Hill, with the sole intent of, doing the same June 7, 2020, 2019 protest action that landed some senators in power today, to do the kind of things, then you are not helping the real family people that are grieving. You are not helping them. Because when you start to do it from a political perspective, other than supporting people to have real justice, then what you do, you shift the argument, you shift the focus of the system from pursuing actual justice to fighting political issues. Because like we walking on the road, somebody can talk your money, you didn't make the person up, but only because I came from in the other corner, or when you try to look around, the only person you saw at me, and you just said at me, even if I had intention to help you to look for the money that I lost, but the fact that you keep cursing me, you keep saying things to me, man, are you stealing my money? I may just get there and say, you know what? I had intention to help you to look for the money, but say you cursing me, I will curse the hell out of you too. When we all settle down, then we'll go look for the money. You don't allow people to politically, manipulate your case. And that's why I keep saying to people, most of these women who are playing politics with the situation are not themselves affected by it. They are not the ones who are bereaved. And that's why I'm asking Madam Scott, the good thing is you are my auntie. We are from the same Maryland County. You should not allow people to score political goal except there is another agenda. And I don't want to believe so. But to sit and allow people to play, why? What is it going to cost? What harm is it going to cause if these people will sit and allow the process to unfold? When people are sincere and honest in wanting justice to be done, they do it through the provision of some serious forensic investigators. They are all political people. They have money. They have connections. One of the things they could even suggest to do is to contact serious-minded crime investigators to come and aid in the process. In fact, that will also bring independence to the investigation. You go to Capitol Hill, good. The police, to the best of my knowledge, issued 2 mini statements on this issue. Am I satisfied with the way the police is proceeding in this matter? I'm not. Oh no, when you ask me, Kai, are you satisfied with the level at which the police is operating? I will tell you, I want the police to go further. I want the police to be more expedient. In fact, I will want a national security operations on this one. I would rather a joint security operations instead of leaving it on the police, because in the issue of combating crimes, there are some sensitive intelligence gathering strategies that the people in the immigration may have, the folks in the NSA may not have, the folks in the NSA may have, the folks at the DEA may not have. So when you have a joint security approach towards this matter, it will make it so easier. So when you ask me, are you satisfied with how the state security people are proceeding? I would say I need a more joint security, engagement, so that there are too many covert, strategies that can be deployed. And trust me, in no time, we could have the suspects in the net and we can pick them up. But this will not be successful if people would choose to play politics with it. When you do politics, then you distract the real essence. Give the process some time. Madam Scott is hurt. She's bereaved. She's in pain. The least thing she wants to see now is people making politics out of the gear. I challenge most of those women who are out there protesting. The formation of this protest, the organization of this whole protest started in political party chat rooms. People who are championing these protest actions are people who are senior members of opposition political institutions. Hey, come on. Am I saying it is wrong to petition your government whenever you are dissatisfied or you have issues? I'm not saying that. That is not my point. In fact, I would never even stop people from exercising their constitutional duties in petitioning the government. But when that act of wanting to petition the government is purely triggered by political sentiments, then the truest essence of that whole gathering is undermined. And so it's the case. We saw that playing out somewhere between 2019 and 2020 when our mothers were being made to lay down their dignity when they were all lying down in the pool of water. They were lying down in the pool of water. I mean, all of the sewage water from Capitol Hill, UL campus, they made our mothers to lie down. I mean, they were all portraying on the floor with dirty water, soaking all of them. Only for a law the president had already passed 2 days before their protest. Now, that's why I say, when you allow politics to overwhelm your sense of judgment, sometimes you make caricature of yourself. What's the essence? What is it? What's the essence? What's the essence? I'm happy that today they said Madam Scott spoke with the investigators. Initially, we were told that she was not cooperating with the government investigators. But we will ask you, Madam Chief Justice, to do everything possible in collaborating with the administration, in collaborating with the police, in collaborating with whatever international investigators, because it is only from your genuine account of what transpired at the house that will give criminal investigators the clue as to where to begin, how to pursue those who may be the perpetrators of that tragic situation that happened at your home. To remain mute, to listen to some opposition political individuals and say, don't talk to any government people, don't listen to any police, don't do this, is to be doing disservice to your case. Peace to the ashes of my fallen colleague. Had Tyrone Brown family, pay attention to political people who are telling them to say your protest, you don't cooperate with the police, that the government do it today, the Tyrone Brown family wouldn't have known that it was Jonathan Clon Williams who murdered their child. They wouldn't have known that it was Clon Williams who murdered their son. They cooperated, and in the end, the killer was apprehended. Oh yes, the killer was apprehended. He was sentenced to jail. You go to South Beach, he should be there. That is what the law is. Sometimes you will have people telling you, Madam Scott, don't talk to anybody, but they who are telling you not to talk to anybody, they are not willing to help you bring the perpetrators to book. I'm not going to be deeply involved with the details on how somebody say, they say Madam Scott sick, she used pepper spray to spray the man. Those are technical issues that the investigator will have to process. Because on one count, somebody say, Madam Scott say she get one room to her house, the room safe, that safe area, that safe part of the house, that the place you are at, the reason why the men are killed. The investigators also have their own personal questions. If that is the case, how come there is a safe place in the house and only you alone went to the safe area? Where were the other people? Aren't the other people aware of a safe place in the house where if there is any attack, they will all run to for safety? Aren't they aware of it? If they are aware, what was the situation? What was the time interval from the minute the attackers hit to the time? Where were you? Because you can tell me but in the evening you can be living in the safe haven. You can tell me by the time you come away, you can go in that safe room. No. Where were you before the attack? Were you in the safe room when they attacked? If so, where were you when you used the pepper spray? So those issues for me, I'm not going to dwell on them because they are themselves serious-minded lead to a sophisticated investigation. I'm not going to follow all of those technical issues because if I am to do it, then it will not be appropriate for the show. But I'm saying to you, at this moment, the best thing we all can ask is for these political hustlers to keep mute in this situation. To the best of my knowledge, Madam Scott is in no political harm's way with this administration. I mean, I am a pundit. We follow the politics of the day in the country. If there are personal issues with personal individuals in the system, that is something we don't know. But from a fundamental perspective, to say, oh, she has been criticizing too many of the government policies, she's on record of criticizing too much, that is not to my knowledge, and I know a lot of you don't have that account of her. So in this kind of situation, it is important that we rest. We take a break. We stop allowing politics to bleed us. Most of the people I saw, most of the folks I saw today, most of the women we saw, hey, it's not about wanting to demean them. But in all fairness, these are wives of people who had too many contracts under the previous administration. Oh, you think we're not talking? These are women whose husbands and boyfriends had real contracts under the previous administration. They have your money. Oh, when the boyfriends and husbands no longer in power, and there is another administration in power, you think they will not find any smart thing to tie on that administration so that their boyfriends and other people will return to power? That's what we see. We keep saying, when these things are happening, stop playing politics, because when you do politics in it, people will tend to find the political sources. And when we choose now to abandon the real issue of finding the perpetrators to discussing the political intent and the political chicanery and the political transaction, then automatically we undermine the essence of the process. You see why we keep telling you, when these things are happening, everybody put their political government down. CDC people must shut up. UP people must shut up. ANC people should shut it up. ALP shut it up. That's why we keep telling you, when these things are happening, politics should go away. Politics should go to hell. All political parties go to hell on it. People should speak on it on the basis of reasoning. People should cut their political affiliation aside. I mean, most of them now. We're political analysts here. We know people. We know most of the people in the forefront. So the family should not allow this to happen. The Liberian government issued 2 statements. $5,000 from the Ministry of Justice. Anybody who is aware, who got any information, Mayor Koji said additional $5,000. So do we have $10,000 for anybody who got any information that can? And these are things that security people know how to trace. I mean, I say some of them. But when you want to find footballer, you go to where people can play football. You want to find criminal, you go to where criminal they can sit down plenty. All in the country know where criminal can be. I mean, they're in the gap, they're in the ghetto, they're in the hood. They're in criminal hideouts, in the most destitute part of the society. That's where they are. And you're talking about $5,000, offer. When you get to those kind of places on a covert operation, using real security techniques and security, psychological, strategy, of course, in the coming days, you're going to find something that will lead you to something, and the next thing you know, there's going to be a prime suspect in the net of the system. But these things will not happen when you have people wanting to play politics with every single thing in this country. Why you can't allow the woman to grieve in peace? Why you can't allow it? Why you can't allow it? Why you can't allow the woman? She's bereaved. You guys are damn desperate about this whole country leadership to the extent you just jump and do politics with everything. And let me say this to people, right? Sometimes people think when we say these things, we don't know exactly what we're trying to push. When you do these nasty things, thinking that you are doing it to bring a particular government down, you are doing it not only to bring a particular government down, but you are also doing it to hunt yourself in the event where you are successful in going to power. Because here is why. The folks who honestly, some of you are aware that this thing could be far from governmental link. But because of politics, you are pushing on the government. You are also aware that in the event where you are likely to take on state power, you could have these people who you lie on. You could have them coming after you. Will I support it in that period? No, I will not. No, not because the pressuring CDC, man, maybe they put on unnecessary accusation on them. So it means when CDC leave power, 20 year, 30 year, whatever year from now, then they go opposition, they start doing the thing to other people. I would no. I'm not going to do that. The reason we are speaking against this kind of political distractions is because it is not healthy for the country. When you're in opposition, campaign on the basis of policy issues. There are certain issues that should not be politicized because they border on life and death. They border on the survivability of a particular family. That lady was a serious asset to the family. You don't know the gap that her passing has created in that family. So to keep playing politics is to keep renewing the situation in the family. And that's why I'm saying let the state security people double up their game, because that will stop the family from grieving more. When the family have a clear access to the perpetrators, when the family can know who did this and that person be made to explain why they did whatever, at least it will pacify the anger of the family. And that's what I'm saying. The police alone cannot do it. They may have capacity issue, but at this moment, judging from the fact that it has been politically, channeled by people who got their own personal political reasons, I am asking that the joint security through the Ministry of Justice take charge and let us have a joint security approach on this issue. I'm going to submit on this matter. We're going to take calls and have the folks from the Louis Otto Graham School of Law. But I'm saying, as we will be asking our Madam Scott to exercise some level of patience. I know it is hard to do, ma'am. I know it's a difficult thing to do. But one thing you should also try to be strong enough to do is to stop entertaining people who will want to get you deeply involved with political discussion, because we are reading, we are having serious intels, and it is not going to be a good thing if some of those discussions are out to the public and you are part of it. Discourage them. If it is not about genuinely, wanting to have justice for your daughter, don't entertain it. Don't allow anybody exploit your bereavement for their political reason. Don't do that. It's not a good thing to do. The Tottenham family did not do so. And so today, the guys who were arrested, they are new. Those guys are new. They explain their own problems. The Tyrone Brown family didn't do so. And you can name several others. Yes, there are cases that are yet to be brought to a conclusion from a legal perspective. But again, these things will take time. We all know the United States. We all have some clear understanding of how the U.S. is. There are times in the United States, after 10, 15 years, before some of these cases can be brought to closure. As sophisticated as the U.S., as advanced, their security, people are, as advanced as they are, they still find it difficult to bring to a closure some of the cases that happen on the U.S. soil. What about Liberia? But that is not a justification for crime to be committed here anyway. That is not a justification for crime to be committed here. So since we agree that this country is challenged by itself in terms of infrastructure, in terms of security setup, let us try to avoid politics. Politics will not always help. People exploit private situation for political reasons. I'm not going to say more. We'll take our break. We have few calls. By 5:15, we're going to play host to a team of lawyers from the Louis Otto Graham's School of Law there at the University of Liberia, so that they can tell us more about their upcoming activities in the country. Let's take our break to be right back.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Morocco.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilanticide justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sign.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia, and our condolences to the bereaved family as well. And let us ensure that we keep politics out of this conversation. And at the same time, let the police be so fast. Let them do their job. Let them invite the NSA if it is possible. Let the joint security operations be activated. The DEA should get involved. The immigration, whoever that will help in bringing to book those perpetrators, should be brought on board so that we can reach to a logical conclusion of this case and we can forge ahead as a people. Let's take calls now on our numbers 086 500 104, 086 500 104, 0776 104 104 are the numbers to join the conversation here on 87.9. Let's take the first batch of calls. This person, hello.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you. The name is Kwewu William Covey, and I joined this conversation from District today.
Go ahead, William.
Thank you. Look, I think we need to be clear with this issue. And first of all, let me appreciate those women that went to petition their lawmaker in accordance with the Constitution, that the lawmaker approved the authority to intervene or call the necessary authority, that is the police or the Minister of Justice, to explain or give accountability of or serious, not only this lady, because they went with a lot of photos from the past that have taken place that have been no accountability. So I think on the basis of those backgrounds, it was the reason they went to exercise their constitutional franchise, because the reason is we are seeing a lot of women gathering at that place. We saw women gathering against Yeke when you made statement against public works minister. We saw women gather against Hassan Kezulu when you were falsely accused of rape. So I think it can be done across the board, but it should be in accordance with the law. Thank you very much.
We leave you. We take this out of pressing. Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Hello?
Go ahead. Let's hear you quickly.
Hello?
Go ahead. You are live. Okay. We'll take this out of pressing. Hello. 1 minute.
Yeah, good afternoon, Karen, Oliver Khan. This is Otis Sankar, and I call you from Jonesville this afternoon.
Go ahead, Otis.
I appreciate you so much for the platform. And, you said something, and I want to caution those politicians who are taking opportunities of this situation to maybe become vital to whatever thing to gain a sentiment of the Liberian people. They should be very careful, because this case is not just how to think. And I also want to encourage the Liberian National Police and all of our security apparatus to get involved swiftly so that we can have the situation under control, because it's kind of bringing too many things within the public glare right now. So let me also appreciate the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, for appearing for the very first time that I heard to give some horse out of the statement. Thank you so much for the platform this afternoon.
We leave you right there. We take this out of present. Go ahead. 1 minute. Let's hear you.
Thank you. This is Washington Su. I'm calling from Israel.
Go ahead, Washington, quickly.
Let me thank you for the discussion. For me, when I'm looking at investigation, including family members our present when it is.
You got to make some adjustment. Your line is coming in broken. Walk around.
Yeah, 9 p.m. is a time that people can stay be for such a time. The people in the neighborhood, anybody coming from the house or is so strange. So whosoever are in the house, the members, they need to be investigated. Nobody accusing them, but they need to have the investigation. Because why resisting? Why rather resisting our like put out on the go and kill? The whole time they would kill you when you still resisting. So why was her resisting that made people to kill?
So we don't know that. That's why we have to give the investigators enough chance to do their job. Thank you very much. We leave you. We take this other person on the line. Your name and where you join us from?
Okay, this is Rodney from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Go ahead, Rodney Peabody from the U.S. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so surprised that when a crime happened in the house is not just on the street, and the police come in America here, and I'm talking about crimes that will go for like maybe 4, 5, 6 to 10 years. The first people the police want to deal with is the family, and the family got to be willing. There is no way you can say, "Oh, I can't cry for my child," and that's a simple scenario right there. It's like you have to be able to give the police the opportunity. So if you stop every time somebody is not willing to speak to the police for a crime that happened in their house, even if they wasn't there, then let alone you are there in the house when the crime took place. Trust me, if you don't, number one, the police is not backing you. In America, they don't back you to explain. They're taking you downtown. They are taking you downtown or uptown, depending on how they call that city. They are taking you to the police station. You don't have a choice. But thank God for Liberia. It'd be so funny that people be saying, "Oh, but the woman forced to," or is she? No, you do not have a choice in that case because the crime happened at home. So the first suspects are those who are in the home, be it robbing or not. Once somebody lost their life, the first suspect, you gotta want to know what kind of motive. But anyway, like I said, thank you, and I believe the police is doing their job. Let these people that run on the street, like I said, mothers, they need to go in the right direction when they say they are calling for justice. So don't come in one day. Investigation don't bring to book or answer in one day. But thank you, man. Thank you. I just wanted to say these things.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there. Let's take this other person. Go ahead. 1 minute. Let's hear you.
Yeah, hey, how you doing, man?
We're great.
This Ambrose, and I'm calling from Kentucky, United States.
Go ahead, Ambrose.
I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I see the Chief Justice Bill Hooker Clinton. I know you're a grown guy. When they say the moment you're writing, it will smell. She started for the wrong thing, and for her to allow people to make politics out of this sad situation, about to hit the fence. But you see, if we're getting a lot of different accounts of what happened in our house, I would pray and hope our government will do the right thing and do all they do their work. They're thirsty. We need to. Because first of all, that house was to be a crime scene. Nobody should be living in that house now. You are supposed to find a hotel so everybody can move there. That house can be very far search and the investigators do all the jobs because it should be blood on the wall or blood on the floor. That should be somewhere around there. There are evidence to be secure. Because the Lakers Valley, they need to do a testing on it. The other body that left in that house supposed to be investigated. Because I know you said that you're into, but when something happens in America or anywhere in the world, the first suspect is just like here at Lesa, work off the Freedom Hub. If something happens to Oliver, Lesa will be the first suspect because they start doing elimination. They say, okay, Lesa never did this. Another person did this or the technician did this or something. Before we start going outside to find out what would be the cause somebody will attack TNT or what TNT will attack Alexa. So everybody that lives in that house, they are proud suspects until we can eliminate them. Yeah, I think that I beg you, Oliver, I beg you.
Quickly.
I think that the Chief Justice thing. It's a way that they can tap it. All if you make a call on that day, who to call or where to call. And the guy that in America, that they didn't invite that guy to Nigeria, or they need to make sure that he can come to this testimony. How he got all that information? But I'll hate you, I'll be my man.
Okay.
Don't call me though.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there. Let's take this other person on the line. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Oliver Kine.
Good.
Thank you.
Good evening, my brother.
Hello?
Go ahead, let's hear you.
Thank you very much for recognition. My name is Ibrahim Dugu and I join you from Ghana this afternoon. Thank you very much, kind, for the hard work you do for the Liberian people. But kind, I will be very quick on the issue about the former Minister of Justice case here.
The former Chief
Kind,
Justice.
With the former Minister of Justice, right?
Chief Justice.
Oh, okay, good. Kind, when I saw these ladies today at the Capitol building, I said, but what happened? What happened? They women have to stop this. She already said she will ready to open on now. Since the thing happened all over kind, today the woman said she will open on now. She will respond caution. These things are happening here. You have to stop politicizing this. They stop somebody dead. The women that are gathered over there this morning, most of them they came from the political party. You have to stop this thing. The woman supposed to understand if now biological daughter, but when somebody dies, the investigators supposed to do their work. But I see a lot of people at the Capitol building, I can just say they were all I wanted and not supposed to be that. Me put it in the way so everybody can understand. Let the woman be in line with the people who do the investigation. I beg you, madam.
Okay.
Everybody concerned on this thing here. That thing here is happening. We want for people to lie or people say that somebody cares, somebody do this, somebody do that. It will not help us. Let the investigator get an investigator on the case. Let it do their work. We beg you, Omar. I beg you. Thank you very much, Oliver Kind.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there. We are with our guest. Cruzo, if our guest is here, try and get them arranged. I don't want to repeat. We leave you right there. Let's take this other person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Good morning, Oliver. How are you?
We're great, Chief. What's your name? Where do you join us from?
I'm a Chief calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Go ahead.
The last time I remember when we took Octavian the guy that did it, he called the former director of police and explained to him, thinking how you gonna work. All the motive that the former Chief Justice called the Justice Minister. Why she called the Justice Minister to tell the Justice Minister to tell the Liberian people, what did she tell him? There are a lot of things play. I'm just telling the Justice Minister to tell her it was only concern her. And as soon as Anla went to her house, she suspected the man living in the city. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. I'm telling you. Let the Justice Minister tell her, where did she tell him?
So we cannot also hold your account, valid, because we would need the investigators to do an independent job. That's why we keep asking people to depoliticize the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. From the United States, let's leave you right there and come back to Liberia. We're still with our guests. We are having a team of people from the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law there at the state-run University of Liberia. This person, go ahead. 1 minute.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. What's your name? Where do you join us from?
My name is Prince Songole, and I call from Teams Video about this afternoon.
Go ahead, Prince.
Thanks for the discussion. I think the former Chief Justice is not doing the government library a favor. I think you need to open up to the police for investigation and be investigating because be able to tell Liberian people what she saw prior to the death of her daughter. But equally so, Mr. Khan, let me remind you that there were several incidents in this country that occurred that people shifted blame at government when they want to investigate. Government they didn't have anything to do with it. What have any woman role for accusation against government or what they have done before that government want to go after her family and all go after her? So I think there's a political way a myth that these guys are carrying to let's put political point in our country.
And so,
thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. And so we got to depoliticize the conversation as well. Thank you very much. Let's leave you right there and take this other person. Your name? Where do you join us from? Quickly.
Musa G. Brown. I join you from the New Jersey.
Musa, go ahead, Musa. Let's hear you.
It is the right of people in Liberia to protest.
Good.
When issues happen. But I think the protest is not for now. Because the people who organize the protest should get to understand that this woman may have gone to give statement to the police, and the police is sitting down supremely and doing nothing. But Oliver, that particular place, that house, I know the house. The house, the fence is almost to the top of the building. That's a story building. That house got an iron gate. If you enter the fence, the house to enter the house also has iron gate back and front. All the windows are iron bar. How did the criminal enter to attack and leave at 9 o'clock, going to 10 o'clock, and securities are in the yard. The Chief Justice need to do justice to the Liberian people.
The former
Chief Justice,
yeah.
The former Chief Justice, Gloria Scars. Look, let me tell you, Oliver, there are eyebrows rising. And the madam, because she is delayed. Look, if they were here in America, that statement have been collected ever since. That woman should have been under custody, not because of her position. Liberia respect people of position. Whether you pass or present, when things happen in your house, the agency, the proper agency authority will call you. You will submit to that investigation. You can be crying into tears. You will submit to that investigation until the proper records that they can let you go before they will let you go. You are not care what kind of position you hold before in our country. But that is Liberia for us. So, I mean, the Chief Justice has undermined the investigation. She has undermined the investigation. And they need, as we just called, we need international people to get involved and investigate this case so that we know who killed that little girl. We all know Iron Bar, we all door being closed, the iron gate being closed, and how the person got in and did this murder. We want to know. Let the Chief Justice explain to us. And then the other two others that are alive need to know. We need to also call them and be investigated. They need to also be investigated. The police need to take charge of these two people. The two women that were inside, the other one that was injured, and is present at the hospital. The police need to take charge.
Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. We await our guests right here. We await our guests. Like I told you, we await our guests. Let's take this person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
This is S. Lorenzo Bruce, the front of KOK for the re-election of President Weah.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah. I want to know whether the police ever said they are not able to investigate the case before the women of Liberia, of which are in the street to protest. That is wrong. That is actually wrong. They are disturbing the police investigation.
So let's correct this issue from a technical perspective. Under the laws of our country, folks are, under the protection of the Constitution to, petition their people. It is now a violation, but the intent is exactly what sometimes we question.
Of course, they are under the law. They are under the law to petition the people. But this is the investigation that is going on. The police. They got to get a police chance and the police carry on the investigation. If the police fail with carrying on the investigation, then they can take the street. There are other security proprietors that can help the police with that investigation. They got the NSA, they got other people to help. So just the women there wait on the police and wait on other security proprietors to carry on the investigation. The police have to do their job. So we ask the women of Liberia, we know it's hard. Our legislature passed off. We know the kind of things she passed through before getting votes. We know it's hard, but we ask them to bear patience and let look up to the police and other proprietors in the security sector to carry on the investigation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much. We leave you with take this other person. Woman.
Good evening, Carl.
Good evening. Quickly.
Okay, yeah. There are two issues I want to stress
quickly.
My name is Hassan Morris, and I'm calling from Bandersville.
Go ahead, Hassan.
Okay, I want to understand. You guys can always play with the law, and some of you can play with the law. Maybe you have idea.
Everyone can play with the law.
Okay, yeah. There is no kind of law on our book that can force people or give them a specific time to turn in for investigation. 8 years, while the police is giving special leverage to the former Chief Justice. That's one. The second thing is, after the investigation, all of the occupants of that identical compound, by now they should be under police custody for preliminary investigation, so that they can obtain questions from all of them. Because that the place the crime was committed and those that were in a house that slept in the house, they should be investigated because death has something that when it coming to you, that's something that's secret. Okay, that little girl has been stabbed according to Bible multiple times. That story to show her mom was shot. And people can be lying in a house and somebody is dying on a star. Nobody, people are not aware of it. That's not possible, huh? Yeah, so that's how it's supposed to be. Everybody on investigation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's depoliticize the conversation. That's my plea. This person, go ahead. 1 minute. Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, how you doing, Baba?
We're great. We still await our guests.
Okay, this is Martin. I'm calling from New Jersey Junction.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Let me say thank you for the topic. Look, okay, let's be real here. We're not begging that woman.
Hey, man.
Whenever we're going to beg that woman to tell us, say, please, we demanding that woman to speak to the police. We're not begging this woman. She made up this country. We're not begging her. She needs to explain to the police that there's a bonafide of this thing. We're not begging that woman. What are we begging her for? Oh, we're not begging her. First, this money die in your house. The one that was sitting out on your gate. And you tell them, I'm begging, we can't beg her. Now speak to the police. That won't want her. We're thinking about the point when we go protest. Everybody for this in the country. We want the police very exactly know how it's for falling in this country. But they're going to say, go protest. And there's nonsense to me. So we're not begging them. We're not trying to the police. When it's funny, she sent me to jail for a dog for 1 year. Somebody died for her. She can't tell the police. When it's funny, from her house. We're not begging them. Okay, we'll put them to the minimum of time to tell the police. We're happy. That one from her. We're not begging them 1 year. We're not begging her to jail tomorrow. We're not begging her. That's why I said the people for police from her. Thank you for having me.
Man, Sisi. Yeah. Yeah, man, Sisi from Clarendon. Today she called from she called from New Georgia Junction. But we keep taking calls until we can have until we can let's see. I think I'm getting a signal here. We'll keep taking calls until we can have Professor Kpadison Sumo. He's the associate dean there at the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law. He's expected to be our guest here on 87.9. Let's take this person. Go ahead. 1 minute. What's your name? Where do you join us from? You gotta say that. Your name is
Richard South. I'm calling from Omatari.
Go ahead, Richard.
The first thing the police they need to do work. But the first thing before they pick up the private car, because the former justice minister, she knows the law. If anything happens there, she go with the police, asking them that they do private secretary. Along with her, will be at the station and send for a lawyer. If you want me to know, you need right to send for there and send for a lawyer. At the end of the day, the lawyer can send for her. And she can go home now and she will for the case. So, you really go control it. And another person, the police, like that person to send to another point. I guess it. You know the law. You know the law. But they're not supposed to be backing her to even go to the depot or to central. That's every day. We're not supposed to leave her. Pick her up. He will be there when you reach the center, except for a lawyer. The lawyer can start for her. So, we never do work the police. Thank you. I'm not going to share that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there. Let's take this other person on the line. Hello. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good evening, KOK. Good evening, all peace loving Nigerians who are in tune this time.
Go ahead.
This is God's help. KOK, we have a very precarious situation on the ground, and people need to take a note of certain things. I'm a big fan of how you call it. I'm not a security person for the record, but I'm a big fan of crime scenes investigation. As a certain channel, I'm how you call it used to watch. The first thing that place, the place where the incident occurred, should have been rendered a crime scene, and only the police should have had access to that place up to this point. One thing I take cue of is that the whole area have been defiled, or if you may, the evidence that should have been taken from that place by crime investigators have been how you call it or destroyed. The first thing, one incident note where the starting of this chaos took place is a place of interest. What kind of activities went on around there, that particular place? Whether if there was stabbing, to what extent or blood spattered around there, what are the kind of activities, whether people stepped in or blood, and all of those things are things that people are supposed to take note of. None of those things where how you got it marked as evidence that could be used as exhibit during investigation. And if the police really went on or how you got it training from the own and international police, these are things that they should have be able to establish so as to help them in their investigation. We can continue making mistakes when people's lives are being or taken in, and we just play with it like that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time, man.
Thank you very much, Gus. And I also agree with you. The police should be, yes, the police should be on top of game. And this is, I mean, we cannot overly emphasize on this issue. The police should continue, to exercise high level of professionalism when it is about these kind of situations. Let's take more of the calls while we await our guests, the Honorable Professor Kpadeson Sumo. He's the Associate Dean there at the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law at the University of Liberia. Let's take this other person. What's the name? Where do you join us from quickly? Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
District 10.
District 10. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Khan, I really wonder why the Liberian women should protest when the particular woman refuse to pay information to the police. They shouldn't protest. I think that the protest should be against us. They should protest against us to talk, to get the proper information to the police. Get the police to do an investigation. But she refused. Nobody getting the police information. The police was too much. The people they get too much to do that investigation. She do that in the house. They're responsible to tell the police what happened in the house. But they refused. So the women of Liberia, their protest should go against us. They shouldn't be against the Liberian government. Their protest, they should go against that woman, not the Liberian government.
Okay. Thank you very much. We leave you right there. That's your view. Let's take this other person. Hello, 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello, Kat.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
I'm Joseph Flomo from Buchanan.
Flomo from Buchanan. Go ahead, Flomo.
You know the reason now the people a call for the police. The police do a misstep in our home. 30 missteps. When nothing happens, when the police enter in our home, the first thing they'll do, Malaska is not high, right there under the law now. And so arrest those or inside the payment according to the information that entered there. They so corner all to take them to the devil. That payment will enter in the fence before the police reach there. They have information, but the police allow everybody to go on their own. So everything the person that be police, there is no now for police doing that. For that particular hour, they so collect all the woman not get it right now. Only the law here, she herself you know. Only right over there that was child and our child the value for the government and the incident for the government so arrest that woman on the spot and take her to the police station. It will leave custody of the police and say get a first statement before they allow her to go back to her. She will leave there and she get a lawyer or she lawyer for herself. You call for a lawyer, the lawyer can write there and give him. But the public when they case they know the location on the thing, the heart on the thing. We seen it on Facebook. The location on the house, the building high and low. Well, that case, it may be. And I say it is true, it may be a family crisis in the house. Anything happened there, they know.
We leave you. We do not have the evidence, so we will not support that. Thank you very much for your input as well. We leave you right there. Yeah, those are his views. We do not authorize what he said, and that's what we are putting out the disclaimer. This person, your name and where do you join us from, sir? Quickly.
Good afternoon. My name is Dempster Johnson.
Dempster Johnson, go ahead. Where do you join us?
I join from Brownsville.
Brownsville. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, I would like for the police to ask the former Chief Justice to tell them what sort of documents that were taken away by the alleged armed robber. That's number one. Number two, what was the proximity between she and the alleged robber when she used the pepper spray? Number three, let the police ask her to produce the empty cylinder of the pepper spray. Number four, let her tell the police as to whether it was only she and the alleged robber
that were together when she sprayed him. These are the questions I want the police to ask.
You're sounding like a law enforcement officer.
Not exactly.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we leave you right there. Let's take this other person. Your name quickly, no time.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Khan, how are you doing?
We are great, Chief.
My name is Maurice Kurma, the coach for Operation National Response and Defense Team, Alapopo Defender.
Go ahead, Maurice.
And I join you now from my resident Johannes Market, Banansville.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd like to be clear on this note. Even though you said we shouldn't politicize the case,
and we should not politicize it.
And we should not politicize it. But what I want for the former Justice Minister to do, the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice to do, is to put hot to that guy in the U.S. that giving information, that saying things that man politicize the whole case of the woman to death. You getting me?
Mm-hmm.
He the one started it, and she never put her to it. She remains silent today. Up to this time, she don't put her to it. And now, as I'm speaking to you now, the people that want to go protest today, the women that want to go protest, they make me with you. Eh? They went in the other way to protest for that woman to open up today, but they just pretended to say they went protest against government. You getting me? So what I want to say here, the Justice Minister, it is time now for her to come out. Let me tell you something. We shouldn't beat around the bush.
The former Chief Justice. The former Chief Justice.
The former Chief Justice. That we shouldn't beat around the bush. The former Chief Justice. She's a prime suspect. Prime suspect right now.
You are not an authority to declare her a prime suspect.
No, I'm not authority to declare her as a prime suspect. But right now, as we're speaking, authority need to declare her as a prime suspect for number one because she was in the house when the incident took place. She was there, and all those that were in her house, and they should be under police custody by now. But you know, the information that she gave to the Chief Justice, we want for the Chief Justice to tell us what kind of information and get to. You know, that Brown got killed in this country here, and they were leading an allegation against the president or against the government. At the end of the day, when Mickey Gray arrested that issue, what happened to Mickey Gray at that time? And he passed off. So, gentlemen, got to be careful how to say things, and we should be careful how to do things. This justice, the Attorney General of the country, he need to tell us what that lady told him when he went to the house there. Seriously, I'm not selling for that, brother. Thank you for the opportunity.
We leave you right there. Let's take the other person. No time. Let's hear you quickly.
Hello, okay.
Go ahead, Thomas Sabo. No time. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I'm the Secretary General for Press and Private Ghana Station number 2, Jubilee. Okay. Because of what I missed. The last time I came, Mayor Koji, Mayor Koji was linked to this allegation at Council of which is I'm happy that she is my former senator from Maryland County, and we are proud for her to have one of the most successful Marylanders for her be a kind. She must stand enough as a brave where people when you saw be talking at thin air, as you are brave to send people all the places. So come on and say, oh, this is not what happened. You step in the president that Koji said, she let them from City Hall to go there. She that went for press conference. Was it look at the when they put in your account? More than 1 weekend people. The man went down there. The last time we checked, you will get me send people crying, you start crying. You hear to see tears, they say you send people to kill. Any bad thing in this country, Koji will be linked to it. And how be it, that's how the young man will always grow.
Thank you.
The man will always succeed.
We leave you.
That's what made me the most vibrant Secretary General.
We leave you right there, my brother. Thank you very much for your input. Let's take this other person. We are still awaiting our guest, and we hope the guest is around. If he's around, please bring him to studio. I don't want to be in a situation.
Hello,
yeah, thank you. Hello, go ahead. I don't want to be Ali on this platform.
This is email.
Email. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I want you to listen carefully.
Go ahead,
the
sir.
Former Chief Justice, number one, the Chief Justice had told us that someone stole rights from the house, which it was not true. Let them ask the girl who is in the hospital. That attendant girl who is in the hospital for my intel. That girl, she needs to be questioned. The Chief Justice know exactly that girl was killed in the house. The girl, they were in a fight, and the girl wounded the other girl that had she stabbed that girl. So let her talk. She don't want to talk. Let her talk.
Okay.
I'm getting you information. This thing you will get to it.
Okay. No. You can go to the police and give your information to the police. It will be more helpful. But thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's break. Our guest is already in studio, so we're going to take our break to be right back here on 87.9. Let's take our break.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Okay, we want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. Yeah, just keep it down. If once you can hear me, it's okay. So we have in studio with us the Professor Smo. He's the Associate Dean at the state-run University Law School, the Louis Attergram School of Law. He's Professor Padeson Sumo. I hope I got the first name correctly. You could say Padeson and so forth. But we have the Honorable Professor here. He's going to tell us more about a program intended to honor several of those who have made significant contributions to the law school there at the University of Liberia. Honorable Sumo, it's our honor to welcome you to Freedom Hub. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for the honor. I'm delighted to be here to especially talk about the Louis Attergram School of Law.
Okay. So before we proceed to the events that we expect to happen at your entity, you want to give us an expert opinion on the most trending issue in the country relative to what's going on with one of your colleagues, the former Chief Justice. What's your view? Were you to advise on the situation from a general perspective?
First and foremost, it's regrettable that the Louis Attergram School of Law, from the administration to the faculty and students, we're saddened by the event, and we will, in every way possible, want to ensure that justice is served.
Okay.
Having said that, the fact that it's reported to the state and state securities are investigating, I wouldn't like to undermine that investigative process to try to preempt or even suggest that there should be something or whatever it is that needs to be done. We'll leave it to the findings of the security, and then the results we'll use those results to take the necessary steps.
Okay. You're the Associate Dean there at the Louis Attergram School of Law. What is it with your students with reference to performance, the kind of people who go there? How are they proceeding? Are they coping with the kind of, lessons you're providing?
Okay. Firstly, let me, if you don't mind, correct the pronunciation. It's Louis Attergram School of Law.
Louis.
It's a French word. So
French word.
So the S is silent.
Okay.
So it's Louis.
A lot of people always make mistakes.
No.
Okay.
It's Louis Attergram School of Law.
Louis Attergram.
Yeah.
Okay.
The performance of our students are in various ways not up to the maximum performance and best performances, but of course, being students, there are those sharp ones, good ones, there are those somewhat good, and there are those who are challenged.
Okay.
The study of law, legal education around the world is very challenging.
Okay.
And it's not intended, it's not meant to be humiliating, but the rigors that are befitting the study of law comes from the value attached to the issue of the practice of law. Whatever you have in your hands, the most valuable opportunity and approach you have to using that, what is in your hand, is the issue of how does that play to law?
Okay.
Law and the use of law and the practice of law is what has brought kingdoms down. It has brought warriors down. It's brought generals down. It's brought presidents down. For example, former President Charles Taylor was tried by law.
Okay.
So that's what law does. Law is a powerful tool. So to practice law and to study how to practice law is rigorous, and we try to instill in our students that the practice of law requires an issue of determination, fast and adequate. The slightest mistake in law, in the practice of law, will cause the death of a person, send somebody to the gallows. The slightest mistake in the practice of law will make a family to lose their something that they have had in their family line for ages. The practice of law and the mistake thereof will cause some families to be divided, separated, divorced. It will also cause hatred for life. So the practice of law is like a very strong weapon. So when you study law, the rigors to study that law and to be able to do what is required. So the practice of law is for justice and equity. That's why the standard is so high.
Okay.
And having given that, students are performing.
Okay.
We'll be honoring close to about 32 honor roll students.
Okay.
To tell you that that's good performance.
Okay. Now, before we go to the main honoring points and all of what we would need to know about it, you've been able to put out a lot of your students today. Some of them are, Anthony at law. Some of them are already counselors. They can go before the bench of the court today and practice. The general performance of those who came from the wars of Louis Arthur Graham. What's it to that?
There is still room for improvement.
Okay.
From judges, sometimes there is a lot wanting from our students or our graduates in terms of their performance.
Okay.
Again, we don't try to own all of the mistakes. Some of the mistakes have come back from the schools that they attended that prepared them for even high school onto college, and before they go to a professional school at a Louis Arthur Graham School.
But you evaluated them and you gave them the final goal.
Yeah.
You said you cannot go come study.
Yeah.
So the standard that you set forth should be so straightforward in such a way that even if they may not be 100%, but an average 90 to 95% performance will be what the public will appreciate.
I tend to agree with you, except that the 1% bad ones will cast the shadow on the 99%.
Okay.
So the practice of law should not be on the basis of one mistake. It should be of no mistake. Unfortunately, there has always been mistakes in the United States, in Europe, in Africa. There's been mistakes in the practice of.
Okay.
That is why there's room for punishing those who fail to practice law at a standard. So malpractice is something that is you can sue somebody for malpractice, because the reason why that law is provided is that there will always be malpractice. Our students and our graduates gradually think they are getting there, but there's a lot of room for improvement. Until we go back to our foundation schools and be able to encourage our foundation educators to set standards, quality standards, and then people move through the system to the level of a college and then graduate from there, it will be difficult for us to correct it when it's already blooming. For example, if a student do not understand subject-verb agreement and they come through college with that shortfall and they come to the professional school like the law school, how do you correct that? They tend to be ingrained with these slight errors. And if these slight errors are to the point where a word A and a word THE there are mistaken in a pleading, that can cause a ruling to be against your client.
Wow.
That you didn't say D and you said A, leaving room for interpretation. So you see how delicate it is to practice. Those are the reasons why when people go out there, regardless of what school you come from, if the foundation is not right, what you build on will not be right.
Let's look at ethical issues, in the practice of law. Some folks are arguing that bulk of the lawyers after school, they don't have contracts, they don't have, engagements with firms or private companies or individuals. For example, you are done with studying. This family will hire you as a lawyer. This company will hire you as a lawyer, so that you earn something legally for yourself. So it is not giving them the chance to be as independent as they should be in their practice. It is giving them some ethical issues. So in most instances, they tend to bend the law because the next time they're going to get contract, they don't even know.
If your passion for the law is the money, then you already started wrongly. It should not be the money. It should be so that those who deserve freedom can be free. Those who deserve punishment can be punished.
Okay.
In other words, you want to ensure that justice is served fairly. So if that is your objective, that's your passion, then money will come along. But if you go into the practice of law for the money and your intent is to earn money, I think you're starting the wrong place.
It seems most of the lawyers, this tendency of using the profession, although for the legal side, but for sustainability as well, because to have a lawyer in Liberia is quite expensive.
These are relative terms, relative conditions, because a lawyer who by inclination, who by passion wants to help society to improve so that there's equal justice for all, will not really be concerned about the money. That's why we do service for indigents. You don't expect people who can afford to pay you to be the ones fees. But the ones that can afford to pay and you're performing well for them will not even stand and wait for you to charge them. They will give you based on the satisfaction they have for what you have done for them. So a lawyer who well practiced by the standards and ethics gets more money.
A lot of the poor people, do not have lawyers.
No. That should not be the case.
Okay.
Maybe our problem is that poor people don't know that they can get lawyers. At
the school, do you encourage your students to be lawyers for the poor when they are out?
Exactly. In fact, this is the foundation. When we talk to our students, like I'm saying now, the essence of coming to law school should not be because you want to make money.
Okay.
Then you go and do corporate law, go and join some company and do some maybe business or some diamond deals. The essence of coming to the law school should be you want to learn the law so that you can be able to help society improve from the ills of those things that have caused us to be where we are today.
Okay.
Law is evolving. So when things are happening in the society, we want to make sure that we can help to improve them by providing necessary guidance that will then create the necessary laws. The laws that will be implementable. And then eventually society lives by that will become better. But if we go to learn the law because we want to use it to make the money, then we allow the wrong laws to be implemented or made and not being implemented. And the result is that we still haven't improved society.
Okay. So in the midst of all of what, they practice, the profession, you still found time to honor some of your own. What is it? What triggered this decision to have several students, to be honored and people from your administration, whether they're past deans and whatsoever? What triggered the decision?
Firstly, is that the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law over the years have always honored our honor roll students.
Okay.
That is not new.
Okay.
That is our standard practice. What has added to that is the issue of honoring our long-serving professors and our past deans. That is the added twist to our honoring program.
Okay.
For every semester, those students who make the honor roll, we always have that program to recognize our effort for two reasons. One, to encourage them to continue being quality students.
Okay.
Two, to serve as a motivation for others to be able to follow them. If you are my classmate and we sat in the same course and we took the same exams, we may have even studied together, and I was able to make an A. We're not measuring your performance based on somebody else's performance, but if they can make A, we think you can also make A. So if they get honor roll today and you see that the very courses that you did are what they did and they got honor the same conditions,
you're going to be inspired.
Exactly. So we're encouraging people by honoring those who have performed well. At the same time, we do punish those who perform poorly.
Wow.
Because The university requires that. It's university regulations. If you perform poorly, you put on probation. And if you're on probation for 1 semester, that means you cannot do more than 12 credit hours. And if you go another probation, you get dropped for 1 semester. These are regulations of the university, not the law school. We just implement them. So while we encourage people to do the best and we honor them for doing the best, we also punish people for doing the worst, so that it can also serve as a deterrent that people don't just go to law school and sit down and play around.
Okay. Who are some of the, you wanted to add on?
Yes, I wanted to go to the point of this honoring of the professors. Some of our professors have been with law school over 15 years, some 20 years. So some based on either the war or as a result of they having left for some reason and came back. Secondly, we also have, if we're honoring our professors, the professors are working within a frame of an institution that has been developed by deans, administrators, people who laid the foundation. So we also want to look back and see those who laid the foundation for the Louis Arthur School of Law as far back as 1951, and then on to where we are today. Those professors, some of them may have been taught by deans, or during the time those deans were administrators. There are those of us who are now professors or who are now working in the university law school, who were taught by some of the very professors today, who were taught by those deans. So you can see the chain reaction. We want to be able to honor those who have been able to set the stage, lay the foundation, build the walls. And today we are working within those walls, hoping that we can improve it for all. So we are honoring 13 of our past deans. Yeah, those both alive and living. Those dead or alive.
Do you have more than 13 past deans at the entity?
Yes, we do actually have. We have only one person who is for sanction of the Supreme Court. It's not in the figure, but there are a total of 14 deans. But we're honoring 13.
So that's better. So what's the size of the program on tomorrow?
Tomorrow's program starts around 1 o'clock. We intend to do a protocol type program. When I say protocol, meaning following protocol that diplomacy has taught us. So there will be photographs of the various deans and family members of those deans who may not be alive will be called upon to come and receive a citation and then unveil their photographs. One photograph is a plaque that they will take home. And one is for us to display as a memory
at the university.
Yes. And then those deans that we are fortunate that they're still around, they will come themselves and receive their award in the citation. So we look forward to a big event. And I don't know anybody of substance in the town that we haven't been able to invite. So we're inviting practically everybody, first in academia, second in our government official cycles, and third, those family members of those people that are being honored. And so we expect a very good turnout, people of good intent to come and support what we are doing at the law school. We're also trying to showcase the way the law school is now being perceived and running, so that people know that the law school is a school that is receptive, but at the same time, a school that is outreaching, so that we'll be able to reach out to people. We've started by doing some of the basic things, renovation and remodeling. Our students are very excited about projects that they are doing. So with that kind of activity, we get to attract people to come and see what we are doing. So tomorrow's program is also a fundraising approach. If you're coming to unveil your family's portrait or plaque, we intend that you unveil maybe with a promise or something that you bring forward, something that will provide a support for something. We're also looking forward and encouraging people coming and saying, look, my grandfather was a dean in so and so time. So my family has decided in honor of my grandfather to probably contribute to name a room after my grandfather, or to probably contribute to a hall, or anything that you think is memorable.
Okay. And they will have to make some contribution towards that.
We will think so. Because if you come and say, I went to schools in the States, there were, in the school I went to, there were rooms named after eminent people. They put their name on the door, and I guess they must have paid good money to furnish and furbish that room. Everything in that room, from the door to the windows and inside, is provided by that family whose name is on the door. And the entire school contributions made the school the way it is. And we look forward to people who are good intent and coming and telling us that, look, I see what you're doing. So, for example, right now we have a reading room that is named after a professor who taught some of our people who were in the law school. So the Martin Tower Reading Room is named after some family in the States, and we want to continue that trend. That if we can find chairs, we can find tables, we can find rooms, we can find halls, we can name after people.
And this is where the technical issue is going to come in. You're doing these things for motivational purposes. The reason why you're doing it is to inspire those who are practicing and those who are equally teaching at the moment, to do more, so that in time to come they will be honored. I would have thought that at this program, like they would do in the different award ceremonies, you add prices to the souvenirs you're going to be presenting. Instead, you want prices from the family. Why?
Well, those who are honoring or running programs for honoring purposes, I guess what they're looking for and what they try to encourage is the performance, the performance result of individuals.
Okay.
We're saying we are trying to remember people who have already performed. And that way, as much as it will encourage or inspire to give.
I'm not cutting you off. A young lawyer at the moment could say, look, what's the essence of trying to perform, sacrifice, be so ethical, close my eyes to the brown envelopes, and so forth. Well, in the end, I will just be remembered with a portrait, and my family will be required to pay some money before I can, be remembered, through some room or some dedication be made to my name.
You see, what has not happened at the law school, and of course, perhaps the university, I'll speak for the law school, is that people have come and lived and funding or contribution or whatever kind of cash, is that together we can build the school to where we want it to be. So that's what we're trying to do. Bring people to the point where they can see that the school is an institution that you can help to improve, so that tomorrow people can come by and say, oh yes, Freedom gave us this particular PA system, and encourage the school to be sensitive that communication is important, and that when you are in communication in the media, you contribute to meaningful educational endeavors.
Okay.
So that's all we're trying to do.
Any other thing that we will need to know about tomorrow's program? Then we go to the lines.
Yes, tomorrow's program is an issue of, one, we want people to be on time. Some of the people that we have invited are very keen.
What's the venue of the event?
The University of Liberia, Capitol Hill Campus Auditorium.
Okay. The time is
from 1 o'clock.
Okay.
It starts at 1, so be there before 1, so that you're seated and then you're accommodated, and we go on as planned.
Okay. Any other thing before we go to the line?
One of those things I would like for all of our invitees to note is that there were challenges in trying to get to everybody, even on a follow-up, but we are anticipating that if they receive our messages, if they receive our invitations or letters, we are looking forward to having them come to the program.
Okay. He's Professor Sumo, the Associate Dean there at the University of Liberia, Louis Arthur Graham School of Law. I just learned that today. And bulk of you who would normally add the S, please know that that S is silent, because the word is a French word. So join us on this platform. If you're there, you are interested in doing law, anything you want to know about law, and if you are invited and also want to have some clarity, join us on the conversation. You can call to make your inquiry on 86500-104, 776-104-104 to be a part of these to be a part of the conversation. I beg your pardon. For those of you out of the country, join us as well on +231 86500-104. You need a lawyer. You were duped by a lawyer before. You need some legal advice, and whatever the case is, it's time for you to put in your calls. Let's squeeze in few. Then we will go back to our guest for his parting comment. This first person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. 1 minute, quickly.
Okay.
I said 1 minute. Go ahead, and you left the line. Let's take this person. Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Rosa Lane, and I'm in the taxi. I hear the conversation. So I want to know if the law school, if they are offering entrance, because I have an interest in it.
If they are offering entrance.
Yeah, like to enter the school.
Okay, if they are offering entrance to enter the school. Thank you. Let's take this other person. Hello, 1 minute. Hello, go ahead. Let's hear you.
How you doing?
We are great.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. You're live.
Man.
Okay, we'll leave you and take this other person. Hello, 1 minute. I think that caller was mistaking our number for something else. 1 minute, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening. Okay.
Good evening, Chief. Let's hear you.
I'm Mark Anthony. I call from Congo Town.
Congo Town, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to appreciate the professor in studio with you who have said everything, which of course is well understood. But I have a concern. I don't know whether he can be able to reach it to some of his that are practicing laws, Anthony laws, consular law, and what have you. Okay, I have a situation, a case. Okay, I have the land. I bought the land from someone.
Please, we have a program on this platform called Land Matter.
No, that's short. I just want to make it concise. Can I proceed?
What did the lawyer do? That's what we are interested in. We are not concerned about your land issue.
The thing is that I bought the land. I got a deed, a legal deed. I received a tax and everything, even probate and what have you.
What did the lawyer do?
The lawyer has compromised the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to know what advice the school can give when lawyers go towards compromising their client cases.
Yeah.
Person, let's take this person. Hello, 1 minute.
Thank you for the opportunity this evening. And let me say a pleasant good evening to you. Good evening to your studio guests.
Go ahead, Usin Kewu.
Yeah, thank you very much, and this is you. And I really want to appreciate you for the professionalism you have exhibited this evening. But I have these questions quickly. At the law school, do you have any law or policies that govern the students from partaking in national politics or any issues of politics?
Okay.
That's my question.
And that's a brilliant question, because I know several of the students there who and us would normally bracket under those political conversations. This person, quickly, let's hear you. You should be the last caller, then we go to the counselor.
Yeah, okay.
Let's hear you, sir. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah. But the whole thing here, that's check the number to me. I'll give information here.
Wow, this is no, this is totally misplaced. Professor Sumo, let's go over to you.
The first caller was asking about entrance. The University of Liberia is a unit, and the sub-units or the DECA units do not control the issue of entrance. So that goes to the testing center.
Okay.
The testing center to the university authority will announce when entrance is given. We're part of that process. And yes, indeed, there's entrance every year, and there are 2 entrance exams. So those who make it in the first one, and then those who make it in the second one, together are enrolled through the orientation, and then fortunate that you get enrolled in school. So yes, we do give entrance, but our entrance is not separate and distinct. It is part of the University Bureau testing and evaluation program.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other guy,
He said he lawyer compromised his case. What advice?
the only thing, what I can't give him an advice.
Okay.
I can show him that in the judicial system, the Supreme Court has, as part of its function, a committee called the Ethics and Grievance Committee.
Okay.
So when a lawyer performs in a way that the client feels dissatisfied, he can formally complain that lawyer to the Chief Justice in a written communication. The Chief Justice, in his or her wisdom, will see the need to pass that on to the Grievance and Ethics Committee.
Okay.
And that committee will probe into the process, invite the lawyer
And
the
make a
client,
determination.
and make a determination and recommendation to the Chief Justice.
Okay.
Some lawyers today are under punishment for having performed in ways that clients' interests were compromised. And some lawyers are even be banned. So the system works is that people don't know that the system exists so that they can benefit from it. If a judge does something, that judge is sent also through the Chief Justice's office to the Judicial Inquiry Committee. So the judges are not free from inquiry. The individual lawyers are not free from the malpractice and accusations. So any communication of that nature that you are dissatisfied with a performance of a judge, performance of a lawyer, you write a complaint, formal written complaint to the Chief Justice. They will give it to the appropriate subdivisions of the judiciary to handle it. And those subdivisions are functioning.
Okay. All right. So your parting comments to your students and fellow lawyers.
All of our students are encouraged to be in attendance tomorrow. We actually are hosting this program on behalf of the students, so they can afford to be not present. So we expect them to be present, to participate, and to be there to welcome our guests and honor all of our various honorees, including our various students who are also being honored for performing high academic results. So we encourage them to be there tomorrow. We are also encouraging, of course, the university authority will be there. We've been giving assurances that the president of the university, the vice president for academic affairs, and other members of the faculty will be there. We're also looking forward to our faculty to come and share into the honor given to those who have stayed with us and served us for a longer period of time. We're encouraging our honorees to kindly show up so that we can have time together. We think tomorrow's program, while it will be centered around honoring, it will be a time for interaction between and among the students and the public by our honorees. And there may be some people you have not seen, heard, or known about, but just knowing the name. And tomorrow is an opportunity, maybe they will be there and you can be able to talk to the person. And you can never tell what happens.
Okay.
Doors may be open tomorrow by this program. And at the same time, we're looking forward to having time together to reflect and appreciate people's efforts.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Smo. It has been an honor having you on Freedom Hub.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure. You know, I almost missed the place. But I've always seen the tower and all this. I said, this has got to be a radio station.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad now today I'm in.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. And so we're going to be going home. This will do it for the week's presentation. Join us on Monday for a brand new presentation of Freedom Hub here on 87.9. My name is Kain. Bye-bye from our end.